Exterior underpass by the river day. A car is being towed to the shore.
So this dental assistant, she loses control, careens off the overpass and into the river.
Like I said, you wasted your time coming over here.
What was her name?
Clara Donald.
So how come the trunk wasn't locked?
Where are you from again?
Well, precinct.
No,
Precinct.
your accent.
Philadelphia.
Mick leaves to his car, unlocks the door, pauses before getting in, looks back. Mick unlocks the trunk, walks behind the car, glances around, then shuts the trunk firmly. Exterior freeway day. Mick drives across the city. Exterior 12th Precinct cop shop day. Mick double parks the car. Interior 12th Precinct homicide. Mick sneaks in the side entrance and lights a cigarette in the stairwell. A door opens.
That you, Mick? The captain?
Yeah, the captain.
Well, he was looking for you.
Right.
Interior 12th Precinct captain's office. Mick opens the door. Captain is on the phone. Well, tell him to come right the hell here when he gets here. Oh, there you are. Where exactly in God's green creation have you been?
They still count on the 12th as part of God's creation?
Mick, we had some decomp come in already and more than one call. You weren't here. Where were you?
Traffic was slow over by the river.
I got a call you were over in the 5th at the overpass accident.
I'm not sure it was an accident.
Damn it, Mick. We have plenty of work for you to do over here.
Escape 5150s and big happy housewives.
A life is a life, just because you got the mayor's attention with your little subway caper.
Well, Your Excellency's counselor doesn't just off himself.
How did you know to check the subway attendant's Instagram? I need you to clear a bit more of our backlog, and we'll try to get you something a little heavier.
Yeah.
Exterior Mick's car evening. Meter maid writes Mick a ticket.
Come on, miss. It was on the job.
Rules.
Might as well leave your number on it. If you want me to hold on to that precious piece of garbage.
Meter maid places the ticket on Mick's windshield and walks away. Mick picks up the ticket, glances at it, crumples it up, and throws it in the street. Exterior freeway evening. Mick drives. Exterior Rheingold Memorial Garden evening. Mick pulls up and parks on some grass, exits, and crosses the grounds. Exterior empty grave evening. Mick watches a backhoe lift a large gravestone off the fresh, bloody corpse of a gravedigger.
You have to leave this grave empty for a bit.
Funny, it was arranged to be empty. No body, just the ceremony.
Is that unusual?
Sometimes.
You seem to be doing very well. I wouldn't think funerals were a growth industry.
You'd be surprised. Sophia Reinhold rushes out from the main house. No. Our vacation is ruined. No. Mom, go back inside.
Were your mother and Herbert close?
She's fond of the staff. Clarence, take my mother inside. A man in a long coat appears suddenly and leads Sophia back toward the main house, whispering in her ear. If you don't mind, Mr.
Mick.
I have to be going.
That's some thick smoke in the air.
Yes, it's from our crematorium. Clarence will be available momentarily. If there's anything further, excuse me. Mick lights a cigarette and surveys the ground as Clarence leads Sophia into the main house, and Minos turns around the corner and disappears. In the distance, Mick sees a groundskeeper putting tools away in a shed. Mick walks over toward the shed. External groundskeeper's shed night. Mick speaks with Steve, the groundskeeper.
How well did you know Herbert?
I didn't know. I know he didn't pull his end half of the time. No, it wasn't his fault. Just the missus always had him doing some side projects. Shame of what happened at the memorial.
The memorial? Did this accident happen during a ceremony?
Well, it was a little while after. You could talk to the dentist.
The dentist?
Uh, Leibowitz, something I think, up on Clover Street. I didn't know him so much. A friend of mine used to work there. Mick throws his cigarette to the ground and stomps it out, then shrugs.
No offense.
Mick's phone rings, and Mick answers the phone. Ring, ring. Exterior, abandoned warehouse night. Mick's car pulls up next to an empty dumpster. Caution signs warn of hazardous materials. Mick walks toward the warehouse. Exterior warehouse doorway night. Abraham smokes a cigar in the doorway of the warehouse.
What do we got?
See for yourself. Mick walks through the doorway. Interior abandoned warehouse. Mick starts to light a cigarette, then drops it as he notices his surrounding. Every surface is plastered with tarps and plastic sheeting. Mick looks back toward Abraham. Abraham shrugs. Interior Mordecai's table. Nancy is half finished with her meal. Ambiance is elegant and understated. A maitre d' pours red wine into a half-full glass. If the mademoiselle requires anything at all. Rachel,
My friend is
there you
here.
go. Mick enters the restaurant and glances around and crosses to Nancy's table.
Sorry I'm late.
You're not late. You're early for standing me up tomorrow.
Do we have a date tomorrow?
Nancy stares blankly.
You should order. The kitchen is about to close.
I'm not hungry.
Mick absent-mindedly fingers food from Nancy's plate to his mouth.
See anything interesting today?
Not really. I saw you for a second. Something about a John Doe?
Interior Mordecai's table. Nancy's plate is empty. Various, mostly empty glasses litter the table. Mick and Nancy laugh together. Nancy catches her breath.
But you really, really should. There's some discrepancy with your paperwork still.
Mick's demeanor turns cold.
I didn't think we were on the clock.
I'm sorry, it's just Reginald. The captain has to mention it. More than once. Something about an illegible Xerox or... Never mind.
Mick stands drunkenly.
You know, I have some more work to do.
Mick stumbles toward the door, breaking a glass and bumping furniture. Exterior Mordecai's table. Mick stands outside the restaurant. He takes a deep breath, pulls car keys from his pocket, and stares at his car. Interior Mick's car. The phone rings.
Miss Clara O'Donnell.
I'm sorry?
Miss
Lab-
Clara O'Donnell.
Lab technician shows notes to Mick.
Came in a few days ago. Saturday night.
This is Clara O'Donnell?
According to the fingerprints.
This is Clara O'Donnell. I'm sorry. Could you show me the other one?
Lab technician closes the drawer and opens another. A man's corpse lies on the slab.
Holy shit, what happened to this guy?
Lab technician checks notes again.
John Doe, hit by a truck outside the 5th Street subway last month. Went into a coma and was stabbed for a few weeks. Then some sort of equipment malfunction. Sunday evening. He came in sometime yesterday, I believe. Yes, Monday the 8th.
You couldn't ID his fingerprints?
They weren't in the system.
That's it. No personal items.
They should be in evidence lockup.
Look, all right. Thanks for letting me take up your time.
External freeway day. Mick's car flies down the freeway. Interior Mick's car day. Mick tries to look at a map while driving. He swerves, then course corrects. Mick flicks on the radio. External Rheingold Memorial Garden day. Mick's car pulls out up the drive and parks in front of the main house. Mick exits the car, walking up the main steps. Interior Rheingold Memorial main house day. Mick enters through the front door and is immediately intercepted by Clarence with a cut on his left eye.
May I help you, detective?
I bet you could if you wanted to.
Mick lights a cigarette. Clarence and Mick stare each other down.
Very well. This way.
Clarence walks off briskly down a hallway, turns and passes through another office doorway. Mick takes his time to slowly follow, examining his surroundings with veiled curiosity. Interior Rheingold Memorial Main Office. Clarence sits in the doorway as Mick slowly makes his way inside.
What can I do for you?
Oh, hi. I wasn't sure where you had gone.
Please, take a seat.
That's very kind.
What can I do for you, detective?
It's a nice place you got here. I don't suppose you have... never mind.
Is there anything I can get you? Coffee? Tea? Water, perhaps?
How long have you worked for the Rheingolds? I was actually looking to inquire about purchasing a plot for myself.
Do you expect to be requiring a burial plot soon, detective?
You can never be too careful.
I worked for Magnus Rheingold since he immigrated to this country. It's a matter of public record. If you'd like to check my credentials, I would invite you to contact the mayor's office. What sort of burial plot are you looking for?
I think I'll have that coffee. Oh, I've always been fond of mausoleums myself.
I'll have my assistant fetch you your coffee. Cream?
If you don't mind. I'm a bit of a germaphobe. I'd prefer not having any beverage prepared by someone I haven't met. Would you mind making it for me? Please?
Very well, detective. Or shall I call you...
Mick. Mick's
Mick.
fine by me. Clarence? That's your name, isn't it?
I will be back with your coffee.
Black.
Clarence leaves the room. Mick examines the desk, stands up and lifts an item from the desk, places it in a coat pocket, puts his cigarette out in a coffee mug on the desk, glances around, and walks out of the office. Interior Rheingold Memorial Main Hallway Day. Mick walks through the hallway and up the main staircase. At the top of the staircase, Mick turns down a hallway. Interior Rheingold Memorial Main House, second floor day. Mick walks down a dark hallway past several closed doors. A door at the end of the hallway is somewhat ajar. A shaft of light through the doorway pierces the oppressive shadow of the hall. Mick approaches the open door. Interior Sophia Rheingold's private room day. Heavy curtains are drawn and lamplight provides pockets of clarity in a richly decorated, shadowy room. Sophia Rheingold sits very still by a table, partially in shadow. The door creaks open. Mick stands in the doorway, smiles, and knocks on the door as it swings slowly.
Miss Rheingold? I'm a detective with the city PD. Mind if I ask you a few questions?
Interior Sophia Rheingold's private room day. The curtains are open and Sophia Rheingold stands by a window. Mick sits by the table smoking a cigarette.
Such a terrible year without my Magnus. And this week, with Clara gone, and now Herbert, it's dreadful.
What was your relationship to Herbert?
We had gotten close. I'd planned a vacation for the two of us. Minos disapproved. He thought it was a tawdry affair, but we cared for each other deeply. Mr.
Mick.
I loved my husband. It has been almost a year without him. A woman gets lonely, you understand.
I'm sure. When did you and Magnus come into the country?
Oh, I was born very close to here, Detective. I encountered Magnus after he left the bank.
And which bank was this?
Rabobank? My husband had worked in the European headquarters before he decided to emigrate to the U.S. He said he wanted something more tactile. He was quite a willful man. When we met, I was working in real estate. I helped him to find a place.
Clarence enters the room.
There you are, detective. I have your coffee downstairs in the office where I left you.
Mick smiles and looks for a place to put out his cigarette. He pulls out a business card and places it on the table, then puts his cigarette out on the card. Mick shrugs. Interior Rheingold Memorial Main Office Day. Mick sips coffee and looks through a binder of burial options.
So, what happened to your eye?
Exterior Rheingold Memorial Garden Crime Scene Day. Mick examines the toppled gravestone, which reads, Bedelia Conwood. Mick surveys the garden. Steve, the groundskeeper, rides a power mower over by the gate. Mick sighs and begins to walk. Exterior Rheingold Memorial Garden Day. Mick approaches, attempting to get Steve's attention. Steve sings along to a song loudly in the headphones.
Hey, yeah.
Excuse me! Steve! Hey!
Steve remains oblivious. Mick unholsters his service weapon and fires a round at his own feet. Steve tears off his headphones.
I'd like a moment of your time.
What?
Steve shuts off the power mower. Mick lifts up a spent shell, still hot from the grass, and crouches to dig out the bullet. Mick stands.
Let me buy you a beer.
Interior Mordecai's table by the bar, evening. Mick leads Steve through the door to the bar area. Mick gestures to the bartender, who pours 2 shots and 2 beers. Mick and Steve sit at the bar, clink glasses, and drink. Mick gestures to the bartender, who pours another 2 shots and a beer combos.
If you don't mind, I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Interior Mordecai's table by the bar, night. The bar is littered with bottles, glasses, and cans of all varieties.
I loved her. It was sudden. I don't know why she left me. I heard they found her car. I would have married her.
So Clara worked with the Rheingolds and this dentist. What did you say his name was?
Leibowitz?
Right. Had you ever met Bedelia Conwood?
Briefly. She was part of Clara's other clique, the creepy Leibowitz crowd. I never liked how he talked to her. Or Miss Sophia, if I'm honest. Slimy, those types. They go to a better class of party. Suddenly they must be a better class of people. You know what happened to Clara?
Gotta make a phone call.
Mick pulls out his phone and calls Abraham, throws money on the bar, and walks out the door. Exterior Leibowitz dentist office, night. Mick's car pulls up and parks partly on the curb. Leibowitz is looking out the office door.
You Leibowitz?
Hey, Kevin, quickly, you want to be Leibowitz since you just joined? That way I don't have to do it.
I don't think I'll be able to pull up the script.
Okay, never mind. Who's asking?
City PD.
Mick pulls out his badge, flashes his service weapon, and smiles.
Why don't we talk inside?
I was just leaving.
This will only take a minute.
Why don't we talk tomorrow? What is this about?
Clara O'Donnell, how would you like to meet me at the station tomorrow? 7 a.m.?
What do you need to know? Exterior 12th Precinct Station, night. Nick parks, blocking the driveway, exits the car, and goes into the station. I'm catching what you're throwing there, Hall Warhol, with the parking. Interior 12th Precinct, evidence lockup, night. A guard sleeps with a porno in his lap. Mick coughs, then nudges the chair with his foot. The guard stirs, awakes, and hides his magazine.
Pardon me. Is there any evidence?
What?
Of work going on here. I'm kidding. Mind if I wander and look around?
Do you have a requisition slip?
Oh, come on, it's late.
Mick glances around, pulls a flask from his coat, and offers it. The guard hesitates, then takes a gulp from the flask. Mick shrugs. The guard lets him into the evidence lockup room and offers the flask back.
Keep it. I think I got it from inside here.
Mick winks and walks into the 12th Precinct evidence lockup. Interior 12th Precinct evidence lockup, night. Mick enters as a guard stands in the doorway. Guard takes another sip from the flask.
Don't touch anything.
With these hands?
Mick laughs and looks around. Guard closes the door. Exterior abandoned warehouse, night. Mick stands smoking, silhouetted in his car headlights. Music blares from his car as he studies the warehouse. Exterior abandoned warehouse, day. Mick starts and pulls away from the warehouse. Litter flies out the window of Mick's car and lands on the street. Interior of Mick's car's, day. Mick makes a phone call while driving and flipping through his notes.
Yeah, I'm looking here. I can't find anywhere in these notes. This is stupid. Sure, it's my fault, but Clara O'Donnell, where is her body found? Clara Donald, this gorgeous young blonde. Deep convict came in. Really, no record on it. Oh, well, that seemed a bit odd. Yeah, me too. All right. Well, if you find out anything, thank you.
Exterior freeway day. Mick's car accelerates on the freeway. Exterior offices of Beauregard Law day. Mick's car parks on a crosswalk. Interior Mick's car day. Mick's phone beeps. A text message from Nancy reads, "Sorry to bother. Reginald is asking about you again." Mick's phone rings and he answers it.
Yeah, of course. Yep, Miss Rheingold?
Mick exits the car. Interior Beauregard Law reception day. Mick hangs up the phone and starts to light a cigarette, then stops. The receptionist greets Mick with a cold smile.
So, my apologies, but if Beauregard is dead, who works here?
An office door opens. Clarence exits, shaking hands with a distinguished gentleman. Closing the door behind him, Clarence disappears down a stairwell.
Sir, do you have an appointment?
Mick lights a cigarette and walks towards the stairwell. Interior Law office stairwell day. Mick follows Clarence down the stairs to a door, opens the door, and exits to an alleyway. Exterior alleyway day. Mick stands alone in the doorway, surveying the alley. He throws his cigarette and turns to walk back up the stairs. Interior Beauregard Law reception desk day. Mick approaches the receptionist.
Whose office is that? I would like to speak to them.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm not sure what you mean.
A man just walked out of there. The office at the end of the hall. Another man was inside. Who was it? What was that man's name?
I'm sorry. None of our attorneys are in office at present. I'm not sure what you saw or think you saw. Please take a card on your way out. Or I can take a message, Mr.
Mick.
Mick, sorry. Mick leaves the law office. The tires of Mick's car have been slashed. Mick laughs and looks around. Exterior offices of Beauregard Law evening. A tow truck lifts Mick's car. Mick, smoking a cigarette, hands the tow truck driver cash.
Just tow it to the station.
Abraham pulls up in his car, leans out across the open passenger side door.
Where are we going?
Mick climbs in the passenger seat, closes the door, lowers the passenger side window, and tosses his cigarette out the car as the car pulls off. Exterior Rheingold Memorial Gardens, main house, night. Abraham pulls up in the driveway and parks. Abraham and Mick climb out of the car and approach the main house. The door is locked. A sign reads, "Crematorium closed for repair." Abraham and Mick eye each other warily. Exterior Mid-City Public Hospital, night. Abraham's car pulls up to the hospital parking lot. Interior Abraham's car, night. Abraham smokes a cigar, speaking to Mick.
I have to go, but like I said, man, the mayor himself uses that law office for everything. I personally wouldn't fuck around there. Not that you take advice. Shit, I don't take my advice. But I will holler about bringing you on the task force downtown. You should see what the hell we're working with. I mean, with the bus we just got in from an anonymous tip, honestly, we didn't even get the ringleader. We basically just arrested everyone in the neighborhood, collecting our winnings, and called it a W. Now, it's like our budget is unlimited and the brain power non-existent anyhow.
Mick claps Abraham on the shoulder and gets out of the car. Exterior Mid-City Public Hospital, night. Mick enters the hospital. Interior Mid-City Public Hospital, front desk, night. A pretty young nurse with a clipboard walks down the hall. Mick touches her shoulder.
Excuse me, miss. I'm here about the John Doe, that man that was in a coma.
Exterior 12th Precinct Station, night. A cab pulls up to the station. Mick gets out of the cab and walks inside. Interior 12th Precinct, front desk, night. Mick approaches the guard at the desk.
Who do I talk to about borrowing an auction car?
Mick smiles. Exterior 12th Precinct Station, night. A hot rod muscle car pulls out of the driveway and peels off down the street. Exterior freeway, night. Hot rod muscle car accelerates down the freeway, weaving between other vehicles, passing everybody. An undercover siren wails. Blue and red lights flicker in the back window. Exterior Rheingold Memorial Gardens, night. Hot rod muscle car slowly pulls up and the siren quiets. Blue and red lights dim. The car pulls gently toward the driveway, parking in a shadow.